Our friend Bill Simmons, HBO The Ringer, is with us now. Huge Boston fan. Thank you for joining us, Bill. What is this the most surprising Celtic team of your lifetime?
Yeah, unquestionably. I think it's the most surprising Boston team of my lifetime. When Kyrie went out, it became a question of can they win a series? And now people are putting them in the finals and wondering how they match up with the Warriors. Like, the best two players in this team other than Al Horford are 20 and 21. It makes no sense. Everyone's talking about the process with Philly. Embiid is like 2 or 3 years older than those guys, and Ben Simmons is older than both of them. And everyone's like, are they too young? Are they too young? And the Celtics team's actually younger. But I wanted to congratulate Stugotz for getting his profile blown up by Mike Shore on Slate, and I really hope it didn't go to his head. I like when Stugotz is unhappy. I don't like when Stugotz gets praise. I think it's ultimately bad for him long term.
Right. Well, listen, I appreciate you saying that. I don't know if it's a compliment or not, but I appreciated what Mike Schur did, and I sense, Bill, listen, I sense this. I agree with you. I think I'm better off my character kind of away in the shadows a little bit, but it's nice because no one ever praises me for anything except for Dan, and it's nice to get it from an outside source. I sense a tinge of jealousy, though, Bill. I do. I sense
no,
that. Yeah.
Not a tinge of jealousy. I just don't want you to change.
I will
think
not change.
Success is bad for you. I like when you're aggrieved and you feel like you don't get enough praise and that Le Batard doesn't treat you correctly.
Right.
I don't want that to change. I still want you to have a little stick in your craw.
Right. The good thing about me is I always want more, Bill. I always want more. So that's a good thing about me. I'm never satisfied. I'm always reaching for more. You know, I want more items at the buffet when I'm walking around. Like, I'm never satisfied with just one thing. So I'm always striving for more.
Dan, did he change after that piece? Did his clothes change? Was there anything different about him after that? What happened?
I would say that he's equally reprehensible. I would say that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So it hasn't changed me.
You have not changed at all. You're the same foul creature you
Finally
were
equal,
before Slate called you the best thing at ESPN and before it named this radio show the best thing in America. What are you so amazed by? He is the best thing at ESPN.
It was weird to see it in print, and I just pictured Stugotz taking a victory lap for like a week and then planning a trip to Bristol and demanding to talk to the top people there about his contract or something.
No, listen, it's totally, Bill, what you're saying, that you don't want me to blow up and be too big. I get it. Overexposed, it ruins the whole thing. It's like, I preferred you when you were just a sports guy, you know? Boston, writing stuff.
I want you to blow up. I'm ready for this. I've been ready for 10 years. It's been great.
No.
And I've been thinking about you guys as LeBron, paves his way here for another exit, because we saw this 4 years ago. All the signs are here, and it could go either way, and there's going to be a moment in this Boston series if Boston can break them, which we don't know if they can. But there's going to be a moment on the court where we're going to realize he's gone and that he's planning his next team, because you guys saw this in the 2014 finals, that last game, when he was like, all right, this is it. I can't win with this team anymore. Where do I go now? And I want to hit that point this weekend. I'm hoping for it.
What are your thoughts, though, on the second half of Game 2, right? LeBron comes out, and I imagine Bill Simmons is like, oh, I remember this. This is Miami Game 6. This is Miami's blueprint on the line. That first quarter, you're like, oh, this LeBron, good God. And then the second half happens. So what happened there? Do you think it's tired? Do you think it had anything to do with being hit in the head?
No, I think I actually at halftime thought the Celtics were going to win, and it did remind me of that 2012 game, especially when he hit the three in front of the Cleveland bench. The difference was in that 2012 game they were up 20, and it was like 48-28 and 53-30, and it was just clear the Celtics weren't going to be able to come back. In this game they were only up, I think, 5 at halftime. And it was clear that LeBron could not play a better half of basketball than that. And they were getting something from Love, too, and the Celtics were missing a lot of shots, and they were hanging around. And I really thought at halftime, I was like, wow, that they weathered the storm on that. And then in the second half, it wasn't just that. I thought LeBron was fine. He made some shots. People were acting like he was completely different in the second half. He still had double-figure points. The guys that killed them, who were really, truly truly atrocious were J.R. Smith and Jeff Green. You know, I watched the fourth quarter again last night. Those guys single-handedly lost the game for Cleveland. They made a combined 10 terrible plays. And, you know, when people talk about can LeBron get enough help, there's two forms of help. It's like, can your supporting cast just be average? You know, his supporting cast in this Boston series has been below average. George Hill was a corpse in game 2. JR and Jeff Green were horrible. Thompson was okay. Nobody in the bench mattered. It was basically just LeBron and Love. And also from a chemistry standpoint, they just seemed not all on the same page. Like, for the announcers to call them out like that was pretty rare. Like, Van Gundy and Jackson don't normally do that. And they were really adamant that, wow, this team's kind of blowing apart in the court.
Are you of the belief that if the Cavs traded coaches, Ty Lue for Brad Stevens, they'd be up 2-0?
It would definitely be 1-1. I think Stevens is, you know, obviously entering Belichick territory if he can take this team to the finals. But I do think it's almost gotten too much attention now. And I think, you know, like Al Horford's been awesome in these playoffs, you know, and Tatum and Brown together have really been unique. With the stuff they're doing, this is kind of like where the future of the league is. And that Marcus Smart's been the energy that he brings and the way he gets the crowd going. So it's the players too. It's the kind of players that they've drafted that are just fighters. Everybody on that team is a fighter. Like Marcus Morris, who is probably going to put my dad in the hospital before the end of the playoffs with his shot selection. That dude's tough. He's not afraid of him. He genuinely thinks he's as good as LeBron. You know, and sometimes you need guys like that in the playoffs who are just irrational. I think for the Heat, Mario Chalmers was like that for a couple of years. Mario Chalmers was an average guard, but he really felt like he belonged out there with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. And I think you need 2 or 3 of those guys.